Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Kristen. I'm excited to be here because I do have some exciting updates. So last video, it was talking through the process, the testing, different things that you needed to get yourself to the official surgery approval, right? So you go originally to a surgeon, a bariatric center. They tell you if you're a good candidate or not, and they kind of set you on your path to get your approval through insurance. So I went through all those steps in probably the last month since I posted a video. And with that, I had the psychiatric testing, I had nutrition counseling, I had an endoscopy done, I had an x-ray on my chest, I had a ton of blood work, I had an abdominal ultrasound, and official medical clearance with an EKG from my primary care physician. So all that got done the week of January 11th. So the last step really was my primary care's physician's sign off that I was clear for surgery. So that was the last step that I was waiting for. Mostly everything else I got done at the end of December, really during my Christmas break, which was nice. But, I followed up with the bariatric center a few times, just being like, want to make sure you saw my paperwork, that you got all this. And they were like, no, we're missing 2 pieces. And I was like, well, I can see it in the chart. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I called again, being like, just making sure you got my medical clearance, and so it goes through. And same thing when it came to, when everything was submitted by them for my insurance approval. When I got my insurance approval, it was actually pretty quick. It was quicker, I would say, than my insurance approval was quicker than, getting the answer back from essentially the doctor's office. So we did that, and I got the call a few days ago, honestly, that I was improved. And they called to schedule my surgery, and they said, what are you looking at for dates? Like, what are you thinking? And I said, well, honestly, I was really hoping sometime in the middle of February would be ideal state for me, because I don't have a lot going on with my children. Grace has kind of a break after this weekend for cheer competitions until March. And then, Noah has his regular hockey, but my husband kind of covers that for the most part. And I didn't have any huge work meetings in February where I had to worry about driving anywhere or being down for a little bit for timing. And they said, well, we have February 20th available. How does that work for you? And I said, done. That'd be fantastic. I mean, that was the best option. Otherwise, it would have been a couple months out, which I didn't want. We'll be going to Disney, Florida area in the first week of May, those last few days of April, first week of May, for Grace's final end of season big cheer event. And I didn't want to be, unable to do that trip. I didn't want to be stuck on a liquid diet. I know I'll still be on a very strict diet at that point, but I wanted to at least have a little bit more accessibility to food while I was there, instead of it being so restricted. So this timing wise, worked out perfectly. So with that, they're like, all right, well, we have to get you in to pick up your food and get in this final 2-hour webinar with nutrition, which was great. They went over basically a whole packet. I mean, it's a ton to review, but what to expect, what items you need on the diet, what it looks like from day 1 to 14, what it looks like from 15 to 21, mushy foods, all those pieces, the vitamins you have to take, all those things. So it really was important. But it's a lot to take in 2 hours, honestly, in a webinar. So I had that last night. I did it at the gym parking lot, waiting for Grace to get out of practice. And I took that webinar, and today I met with the nutritionist to just review what came back in my blood for vitamins and nutritional value, just see if I had to supplement anything extra than I typically would have with the surgery. So kind of came up with a plan of that. and then to pick up my food. So I think it's hilarious. I was about to walk out and say, I need to pick up my food. They gave me these 2 big bags filled with things. And I was a little taken back because this is one jar. It's bigger than my head. It's like a Costco size serving. So they ask you to pick 2 flavors of a protein powder for a drink. So I picked artisan chocolate, and then cinnamon cafe. This is all based off of those samples they gave me a while back to try to kind of try everything and see what you like. So when it did come to time to pick your food, you knew what you were doing. So the other one is this cinnamon cafe, and then to pick a soup, which is protein. So I picked the chicken, good old chicken soup flavor. Is this. They had me pick a bar, and then, they give you a few extra packets that you still need of the protein powder, just because those jars aren't enough. Like, you're gonna give you a packet of the powder too. But they basically went over everything that you can have, right? So for pre-op, you have to do 2 weeks of this liquid diet, and essentially it involves these protein drinks. You can have you have to have, I think you have to have multiple a day. They give you like a schedule on it, and they give you multiple a day, and they ask that you have at some point in your day with your shakes, to make sure that you have a banana or some skim 1% milk, just to help with the potassium. So so that's where I'm at, and that starts on Monday. So liquid pre-op diet starts on Monday, and then 2 days before my operation, which is the 20th, so Saturday and Sunday, I can't have that optional banana. I can't have any of the protein bars that are included in this. It does have to be just strictly the protein drinks, just to make sure my stomach is empty, and it's go time. And so it will be a night over in the hospital, and I have to say I'm excited. I really am eager to just get it over with and just kind of like start this life and just have a nice restart for myself, because I know I need it. I know I want to be healthy. I know I need to be healthy. This is the kickstart I'm needing, and any other extra day is just kind of like prolonging it. So I'm looking forward to that. I will say there's 2 things that I'm not looking forward to. One of them is I'm horrible. I have horrible veins. Not looking forward to getting the IV done. When I went for my endoscopy, it was a nightmare. They have to use like a children's, basically, needle. What do they call it? A catheter. I don't know if it's called a catheter. I forget what it's called. To work in my veins, because they're so small. They're like rolling. It's not great. So that's one part I'm not looking forward to. And then the second part I'm not looking forward to is I have to take an injection every day for, I believe, 10 days for like a blood thinning medication, so there's no blood clots. I honestly cannot imagine giving myself a shot. I'm sure for a lot of people it's probably very easy. I know once I do it, it will be fine, but just the thought of it is probably what bugs me out the most about all this, which sounds pathetic when I say it out loud in my head. It makes sense because it's my own inside thought, but that part is a little scary to me. Everything else isn't scary. It's like I can do that. I can tackle that. I know I can tackle that extra shot, shots for 10 days too, but that's just nothing I've ever had to do before. So it will be interesting, but yeah, this is the last weekend. We have a cheer weekend tomorrow with my daughter's cheer team, and then Monday starts the business, and we get started and we go, And I'm really looking forward to it. I plan on giving an update next week of how my first week of liquid diet is going, and then kind of leading into my second week. You know, am I done? Where am I at? Ready to get it over with? Even, you know, if I had any weight loss from that at that point. And then I would love to take this whole process into my surgery. I do feel like, again, all I keep seeing is vertical sleeves. And I think that's great for everyone that's getting them done. I think it's awesome. And I feel so comforted by the people being able to see the videos of that process. But I feel like there's so much missing in that gastric bypass space. And maybe even more specifically for my age group, I just haven't seen it. Or at least in the States, it's been, you know, over in England, and they gotten the surgery done in Turkey, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I really was hoping that I can make some kind of platform here to document this process and kind of my new start, and then maybe also hopefully be a resource for people here. Like I said, I'm 43. I'm a mom of 2. I like to think I'm still spunky and fun. And I've had ups and downs with my weight. I've gone back and forth a bazillion times. And there's times that I feel absolutely gorgeous and healthy and amazing and a strong mom. And there's times where I don't. And I think now I'm getting to the point where it's not about gorgeous and fun and all that stuff, but like feeling good to be there for my kids. And I feel like that's the part that has been missing